top stories. St. Kitts Nevis observes Vaccination Week in the Americas. Medical professionals from Cuba arrive in the Federation. And dive training course for security forces personnel wraps up. We'll be right back with the details after this.
Frozen fruits and vegetables get a bad rap. Because they are frozen doesn't mean they are not nutritious. Many frozen fruits and vegetables actually retain more nutrients than when they are eaten fresh. Using frozen fruits and vegetables is about convenience. Best of all, they last longer and they cost less. Look for the Island Garden brand at your favorite supermarket or call 662-0909 to place an order today. At Island Garden, we assure you that our products are locally grown and nutritiously sealed.
Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector.
In cricket, there are a few essentials. A bat, a pitch, a ball, some fielders, and plenty of refreshments. Enjoy the cricket with Angostura Chill. Angostura Chill, the official refreshment partner of the Hero CPL T20.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. I'm Jason Davis. This week, St. Kitts and Nevis, together with the countries and territories of the region of the Americas, will celebrate the 21st Annual Vaccination Week in the Americas and the 12th World Immunization Week under the theme, Get Up to Date, #Each Vaccine Counts. Vaccination Week in the Americas is a regional health awareness week celebrated each year during the last week of April to promote equity and access to vaccination. This year, the week runs from the 22nd to the 29th of April, and Prime Minister and Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, commemorated the observance with a national address where he highlighted the importance of being vaccinated. He encouraged parents to get their children vaccinated, even though it may seem as though there's little danger of contracting vaccine-preventable illnesses.
Some of us have never seen some of these vaccine-preventable diseases, VPDs, and some parents probably think that there is no real harm for infection, hence no need for urgency in keeping vaccine appointments or consenting to vaccinate our children. Polio has been eliminated from the Caribbean region since 1982. However, recently, 2 unvaccinated individuals with no travel history presented to health facilities with paralysis of limbs and were tested and diagnosed with polio in New York and Peru.
He also noted that across the region there is a rise in vaccine-preventable diseases.
Today, the region of the Americas is facing new measles outbreaks after it was declared measles-free in 2016. Between 2020 and 2021, the vaccination coverage rates of measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine MMR1 and MMR2 have decreased in this region as several children are susceptible to measles. In 2022, in St. Kitts and Nevis, the MMR1 coverage rate was 95% and the MMR2 coverage rate was 93%. The aim of the public health team is to target the defaulters during this VWA campaign to increase the coverage rate to 95% and above.
The Prime Minister noted that infants are at the highest risk for contracting communicable diseases since their immune system is not fully developed at birth. He also pointed out that the local Ministry of Health, quote, ensures adequate storage, distribution, and correct administration of all vaccines. Vaccines are safe and prevent vaccine-preventable diseases, end quote. Meanwhile, Prime Minister and Minister of Health, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, has announced the arrival of 3 new medical specialists and a biomedical engineer in the Federation. The group arrived from Cuba on Saturday and includes 2 internal medicine specialists, Dr. Rafael Dominguez and Dr. Julio Hernandez, neurologist Dr. Alberto Laguna, and biomedical engineer Leniel Tapanas Soto. They arrived in the Federation on April 22. In a statement, the Minister of Health expressed his gratitude to our Cuban partners, especially the Ambassador of Cuba to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency David Rivero Perez, for facilitating this undertaking. He was quoted as saying, "This partnership, which was established through official diplomatic relations 28 years ago, has enabled citizens and residents to access some of the world's best medical expertise, and we're pleased to welcome these new medical personnel to our shores, as they will bring tremendous benefit to our people." End quote. According to the statement, the expansion of services provided by health institutions is a crucial aspect to transforming the healthcare system. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis says it remains committed to providing the highest standard of care to its citizens and residents. On Friday, 10 participants received their certificates for completing the National Academy of Scuba Educators dive course. The closing ceremony was held at the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force Coast Guard base and wrapped up 10 days of training for volunteers from the Defence Force Infantry, Coast Guard, as well as Customs and Excise Department and the Antigua and Barbuda Defence Force Coast Guard. Commanding Officer for the Coast Guard, Captain Kenish Garnett, said this type of training is vital for the growth and development of the Defence Force.
A strong maritime force requires its sailors to perform tactical duties from land, sea, surface or subsurface, cyber and air through unmanned aerial vehicles where no hearing is present. By completing this course, UCLAS have allowed the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force to meet 5 of the 6 tactical level elements they seek to accomplish through their midterm plan.
The course was facilitated by Mick Parkinson of Commercial Dive Academy of the West Indies. He commended the participants but reminded them that the work has only just begun.
They went from being a minnow to being a diver. All right, you've done a lot in 10 days. This is only the tip of the iceberg. There is still a lot to learn. The most important thing that you have to realize is the safety side of it.
According to officials, the ceremony was held primarily for the graduates of the most recent batch of Defence Force recruits. Volunteers were requested from the infantry and other branches of the Defence Force, and if there is renewed interest by other security personnel, another training course will be held later this year. Coming up, we'll have another look at some of the stories from the past week. Stay tuned.
Here are your Hospital's Value Mart IGA specials.
Running April 20th to May 3rd.
Now your Value Club Blue Tax specials. Nature Valley granola bars just $13.49. Palm cooking sprays $13.49. Chef Warrior decanned pastas and micro pastas just $5.99. Essential everyday canned fruits $8.99. Banquet ground and served breakfast sausages $8.99. IGA and essential everyday cereals just $9.99. And now our very low weekly
Value deals. Kind cereal bars $6.99. Post honey bunches of oats and pebble cereals family size $16.99. Hammer toothpaste $12.99. IGA and essential everyday frozen vegetables $5.99. Old Orchard apple juice $8.99. Orville red and Boca popcorn $9.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en
Value Mart.
It's a sore throat. I'll write a prescription and see the nurse regarding the MMR vaccine.
I heard on social media that the COVID-19 vaccine came in a container with the MMR label on it.
Measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine is in the vial, no other.
True?
We can't betray our parents' trust, St. Kitts and Nevis has always had an impressive immunization history.
But these diseases aren't around now.
Yes, our borders are open to all kinds of diseases that negatively affect our children and elders.
I never thought about that.
Today, you have a choice whether you get vaccinated. So, you want to continue?
Yes, doctor.
I want to be protected.
Check your doctor or the Ministry of Health to get the information on immunization against childhood diseases, including HPV and polio, and COVID-19 vaccine for elderly persons and persons living with non-communicable diseases.
Want to get away? Now you can.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, says St. Kitts and Nevis will be taking a multi-pronged approach to the recent upsurge in crime in the Federation. More in this report.
During a roundtable discussion with the media on Wednesday afternoon, the Prime Minister said coming out of the regional symposium in Trinidad and Tobago on violence in the region, one of the approaches would be to intervene at the early childhood level.
A damaged child becomes a dangerous adult. And so the evidence has shown that if you intervene early with a number of evidence-based approaches, you can really solve the problem. I called the Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, the Deputy Prime Minister, and asked him to put in place quickly a task force to look at making preschool accessible for all of our preschoolers. Because the earlier we intervene is the more success we will have. And also to look at child care for children who are not yet preschool age but need to have the opportunity to be in a wholesome environment. Because the research showed that between 0 and 5, if you get it right, it is very unlikely you'll get it wrong after that.
He said there must be an effort to reach out to the gang members to establish some sort of mediation.
We are also pursuing active engagement among those who are in these organizations to deal with it from a mediation standpoint as well. So we are looking at it, deal with it from a mediation standpoint, but also robust police tactics to detect and to make sure we work hard to get the guns off the streets and those who we know are involved in criminal activities, to make sure that we do the policing that we have to.
The Prime Minister also commended the security forces for the efforts in launching Operation Reassurance.
The security forces have responded positively and to some extent proactively as well. And they have put into place Operation Reassurance. And I want to thank the Commissioner of Police, Commissioner Sutton, and of course the Commander of the Defense Force, Comrie, who have been working closely together along with the other agencies to ensure that we have a systematic approach to deal with the current situation. And I think that the approach is yielding results.
According to the police, Operation Reassurance will see the various departments of the security forces stepping up their day-to-day operations and police officers increasing their presence in the communities.
On Friday, members of various arms of the security forces wrapped up a week of training in life-saving skills. Here's more. The grounds of the Defense Force camp at Springfield were buzzing with activity on Friday as members of the Defense Force Infantry, Fire Department, and Coast Guard were among those taking part in a field exercise in medical combat training. The training was done in partnership with the United States Virgin Islands, and Major Cassandra Scotland Brooks of the Virgin Islands National Guard explained that the purpose of the field exercise was to test what they had learned throughout the week.
Everything that we taught or was given to them this week, they're just going to show us in a practical exercise what they learned, how they're going to use it. So we're just using about an hour, 2 hours, and we're just wrapping up everything that we did during the week in a field exercise. It's fun, it's interesting, it's exciting.
Major Scotland Brooks also spoke of the importance of state partnerships between the USVI and the Federation.
State partnership programs mean we just partner up with host Caribbean island nations, and we provide support, we provide education, we provide training for those island entities that request it. So right now in St. Kitts, what we're doing this week, we provided a medical combat mission.
Captain Jason Malone of the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force said the training will be useful to the participants when they're both on and off duty.
From this training, the much persons you would have trained in this area, the better it is for the Defence Force. This training applies not only for when you're in the Defence Force, but it could be at home, it could be passing, maybe an accident. So the more persons that we have that is trained and have these skills is more important for us.
Fire Officer Makimba Foy said he found the training to be quite informative.
I do think this is a very interesting course that I attended. It helped us gain more knowledge about the more medical part in the field and help to our day-to-day basis. So I do think it was a very interesting course.
15 persons took part in the training, and the topics covered basic life support skills. It's hoped that the training received could be passed on to the members of the general public. Jason Davis for ZIZ News. In commemoration of Good Deeds Day, the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Environment and Climate Action partnered with volunteer group Chip In to host a cleanup day at Independence Square on Friday. Carla Berridge tells us more in this report.
Approximately 100 persons employed within the 7 departments throughout the ministry joined in the cleanup efforts in the Independence Square on Tuesday. Minister of Sustainable Development, Environment and Climate Action, Honorable Dr. Joel Clark, who participated in the initiative, outlined the importance of the day's activities.
Outside of the fact that the Department of Constituency Empowerment and the Ministry of Environment have been promoting waste is our responsibility with our cleanup efforts in the Christmas, and now with this effort spearheaded by the Ministry of Sustainable Development, we recognize the importance of protecting the Independence Square. Independence 40 is upon us. This is a space that's not used not just by our locals and workers around the 4th Street and South Independence Street area, but also by our visitors, and we have to keep it clean.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Shesdur Tyson, explained how the initiative came about.
We were planning to do this event closer to Independence. It so happened that this project that I'm wearing this shirt, Good Deeds Day, when we heard about it, we decided to get on board, and so we decided to bring the activity forward. And so what you're seeing today, you can pan and see the entire staff. We brought the entire staff of the ministry, all 7 departments. We asked them to come out. We got the shirts. They were sponsored by Good Deeds Day, and we decided that since this is our major project and this is what we're planning to do for the rest of the year in terms of our capital project, why not let's do it today, Good Deeds Day. So what you're seeing here is the staff from the various departments. We came together. We are cleaning the square. The square is a very important place. Historically, it is very important, culturally and commercially as well. And so we thought that this is the ideal place to perform our Good Deeds Day today.
The ministry has thanked Chip In, the St. Kitts Electricity Company, Skelec, and the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force for their assistance in making the cleanup possible. Good Deeds Day is a global movement that unites people from more than 100 countries to do good deeds each year in April. The day was observed on April 16th this year. Reporting for ZIZ News, I'm Carla Berridge.
After the break, CARICOM declares war on guns, and Kenyan police exhume remains from cult